This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and Gamescom 2016 is fastly approaching. In fact, the first day of Gamescom is going to, I guess, unofficially be Tuesday, August 16th, where you will get the press conferences. Now, here's an interesting thing about this year. Press conferences are light, very, very light. Sony and Xbox, or Microsoft, I should say, aren't doing major press conferences this year. They will have a floor presence, but they won't be here. Sony has already announced that they're having their own private event on September 7th. It's called, aptly enough, the PlayStation event. That is supposed to be the event where everybody swears up and down Sony's going to be announcing the PlayStation Neo, or whatever they're going to call it. So Gamescom kind of is, how can I say this? For at least for the two major gaming console companies, isn't that big of a deal this year. I remember last year Sony decided to drop out, and instead they showed up at the Paris Games Week and did a game conference. Microsoft did a Gamescom conference, but this year they're not going to. Perhaps this is a hint that they're going to do a private event. Now, there are a couple of conferences. That Tuesday that I mentioned, the 16th, you will get a Blizzard Gamescom conference that's going to start at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time in the United States. Then at 1:15 Eastern Standard Time, you're getting a conference from EA, which I find very, very funny that they're going to do those things so close together. There's going to be some lapping, because even though Blizzard may not want to do a long conference, they may run an hour, and that's going to run into the EA conference. They don't have as much to talk about as EA, but they have some significant games. They have content that they can announce. They can add new characters to Overwatch. Warcraft should be a big feature, World of Warcraft, because there's a new expansion coming out. You got the other games that they have, Diablo. There's been rumors that they've been putting together a team for another Diablo project that may be announced. You have the StarCraft HD remastered that they can announce. There's stuff that they can put out there, and who knows, they might come with a new property. You never know what Blizzard's going to do. Blizzard's got a lot of games out there that are big and competitive. Esports, Hearthstone, StarCraft 2, our Heroes of the Storm has a little presence, not that much. Overwatch, again, is came on like gangbusters in a competitive scene. They have stuff to talk about. So curious that EA is going to do their conference so close to Blizzard. I guess they figure more people gravitate to them. I don't know. We know EA is going to have a lot of stuff. They have their sports stuff. They're going to have a big FIFA presentation since they're in Europe. Maybe we'll get some Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay. Things like that. So we do have a couple of game conferences to look towards, and then there's some other stuff like Bungie is supposed to be doing an announcement, or at least a live stream for the Rise of Iron, talk about different content that's going to be in that new expansion that's coming. Maybe they'll talk a little bit about Destiny 2, since it's been said that the majority of the studio is working on that. You have possibly Capcom talking about some stuff. Ubisoft, they're not doing a conference, but they're going to be showing demos on the floor, so you'll probably see South Park, Watch Dogs, maybe some Ghost Recon, things like that. But for the most part, there's not going to be a lot of major functions at Gamescom. And again, going back to Sony having their own event, this kind of leads me back into my mind frame of what I've been saying, I guess, for the last year and a half, or ever since Sony decided to do the PlayStation experience. It seems like we're starting to head definitely into that era where these companies are going to pick and choose when they want to do their own events and not necessarily wait for these big box moments. Like E3 is probably never going to go anywhere, but at the same time, I feel like its significance is still going to fade somewhat. I don't feel like the companies are going to feel even more compelled year in, year out to put on the biggest and best show they have to at E3 when they're doing private events. Again, Sony experience, the PlayStation experience does well. Microsoft can do well with their own experience type thing. Just all these individual companies, they don't have to put on these big presentations there. They can, utilize like some companies have been doing. Twitch has become a big medium for people to make huge reveals and announcements and things like that without having to spend huge money on these presentations. So while the games conferences, Gamescom and EA and E3, they're still a big deal. It's more of a big deal as far as us, the fans. It's more of a spectacle for us. But I'm feeling like it's not necessarily as big of a business opportunity for these companies. Or at least the companies don't feel that they are anymore. And I find that very interesting. Like I said, I feel like private events probably a better way to go. Again, save money. Pick and choose your own time to put yourself in the spotlight. No real contention with what your presentation is going to be. So you don't have to, worry about, is my show going to be as good as this person? How are people going to rate it? Blah, 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 blah. Just do your damn thing, So, Gamescom is going to be interesting to watch this year. Hopefully, we'll get some cool announcements, cool games. Definitely want to see more games like South Park. You got Gears of War that Microsoft will probably show. Sony could show a little more God of War maybe, to see the evolution of Kratos into a real, actual character. I'm interested in that. There's some interesting things out there, and who knows, you might get some surprises, but Gamescom just doesn't seem like it's going to be that big this year as far as the presentations are concerned. But definitely look forward to seeing some new content for these games that are coming out in the fall, stuff that are coming out in the near future, like Horizon, like Sea of Thieves, things like that. So should be an interesting time. I will do some videos if I find something that stands out to me and discuss them with you, ask you guys questions, how you feel on certain material that they're going to show, things like that. So do expect some Gamescom coverage on this channel. Anyway, as always, you guys can hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.